Hi, everyone, and welcome to the preview show delivered by FedEx. I'm Marty Snider from NBC Sports. This is Chris Rice from Colleague Racing, also right here at NASCAR.com. And yet again, Joe Gibbs Racing wins at Richmond. So I'm wondering, should we be surprised at this point? Do you see Joe Gibbs Racing 4 in a row slowing down anytime soon?
Absolutely not.
Hey, easy. I'm not Kyle Busch. Come on now, Carl.
Absolutely not. What I like about it is Kyle Busch, he led a lot of laps, but Joe Gibbs Racing is crazy fast. And I want to give a little bit of credit to Todd Berrier because he's over there behind the scenes doing the things that all the crew chiefs need, and that's making sure all their cars are very equal. And they're showing that coming down to the end, Carl Edwards, kind of giving him a little bump to get him out of the way. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. Todd
Berrier kind of going over there and serving as, in essence, a competition director, and they've certainly been much better in the time that he's been there. So I want to ask you about that, the tension potentially between Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards. How do you diffuse that if you're a crew chief right now? Because you're going to Talladega, and you're going to need all the help you can get. You need the teammates to be on the same page.
Well, I don't think you diffuse it. What I think you do is say, okay, Kyle, you're right. He did bump you out of the way, but he didn't wreck you, and he is on our team. So let's look at this as a learning experience because Kyle had the best car. We seen him drive away from Carl, and Carl got in the last lap and was just right there. So I think we look at it and say, okay, it's competition, it's over, so let's go to Talladega, use that teammate, and win.
And I think you certainly have to give Kyle credit because he handled it very well in the media after the race. All right, let's talk about a former Joe Gibbs Racing driver, Tony Stewart. He comes back after being out for 8 races, finishes 19th at Richmond. Assess his day at Richmond.
Well, I loved it, and I think we give a lot of credit to Brian Vickers and Ty Dillon for doing what they done to let Tony come back with the now experienced crew chief to where he did have a rookie crew chief. And Tony, let's say, hey, he puts a lot of pressure on his crew chief. So I'm going to tell you, I felt it was a win for them. And Tony even said he could go 400 laps more. He's not washed up. Let's go.
I think he certainly had a lot of fun and enjoyed that after the race as well. All right, the big talk this week, obviously, lug nuts. Before, no rule on lug nuts going into 2016. Now NASCAR has come out this week and said all 5 have to be tight. So 20 tight on a pit stop. Mr. Crew Chief, how's that going to change the game?
Well, it's going to slow the pit stop down. It's not been hidden that everybody's doing 4 lug nuts per wheel. We've seen a lot of sub-11 pit stops at Richmond, and that is like really fast for 4 tires and fuel. Now I think it only speeds it up about a second, but the key is how are we going to see if they have 5 lug nuts on? Because we've had some come off because they wasn't tight. So I think that's going to be the key to what's going to happen at Talladega.
How is it police? That's going to be the key because these guys are so talented. They can put 4 on tight and put 1 on and make it look like it's tight, right?
He's been watching something, hasn't he?
Well, and I think it's going to be tough for the crew chiefs because there will be a race winner at some point who pulls the car in and there's not all 20 tight, correct?
Absolutely, and that's something, the crew members, they're professionals. They know how to do this, and they all bend the rules, so let's see how it works.
All right, it's going to be no time, I think, before these guys start trying to push that rule as far as they can push it. All right, Talladega this weekend, always fun, always exciting. And I want to ask you, teamwork's always key, but we saw the Toyotas work so well together at Daytona. Can they pull that off again and really dominate the race this weekend?
Absolutely, because I think somebody has told them, says, hey, we need to go win these races no matter what. We need to get all our cars in the chase to go for a championship, and every one of the drivers have been very disciplined. Let's look at Joe Gibbs Racing, for example. You got the 18 car already in the chase. You got the 11 car already in the chase. And you have the 19 with Carl Edwards already in the chase. The only car they got left to get in the chase is Matt Kenseth. So they're going to be very disciplined. You better look out because they have the 78 car as the Alliance team.
Yeah.
They'll better do it again.
I know one guy would like to get in the chase this weekend, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Assess his chances at Talladega, his favorite racetrack.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr., let's say this. He can win anywhere, not just Talladega. I think Talladega is one of his favorite places. That's why if we go, okay, he's going to win at Talladega, but I go back to Bristol, 2 laps down, comes to finish second. He can win anywhere he goes now. I just believe that this is a place that he loves and his dad really loves, so he can really win there.
And I think that's a great point. I think there was a time where they kind of felt like they had to win at the restrictor plate races. I don't think they feel that way now. They feel like they can really win anywhere. So Dale Jr. is certainly someone you have to think about this weekend for your NASCAR Fantasy Live lineup. So who are you putting in your lineup as a race winner this weekend?
Okay, Junior Nation, I'm sorry, but I am going with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and because of the momentum he has going into Talladega. Momentum's everything. He has some really good teammates, and Casey Kane's running better right now. Let's look at Chase Elliott. He is really doing a good job. And don't forget about Superman, Jimmy Johnson. So I'm going with the 88.
I'm going to go with Matt Kenseth this weekend only because I felt like at Daytona, he truly had the fastest car. And I think that's going to be more of a key handling less of a key this weekend. So I think he's going to be a factor. And Martin Truex Jr. too. Those were two guys who are not in the chase, and they were up front in that mix of those Toyota cars. So I'm going to go with Kenseth this
The
weekend.
difference is you have to handle at Daytona. This is raw speed when we go to Talladega, baby.
And that's where Kenseth was certainly so strong when they were there in February. All right, make sure you keep it parked right here on NASCAR.com all weekend long. Live leaderboards, in-car audio, all the news updates, and there's plenty of it leading into the Talladega race. Make sure you check us out back here next week for the preview show delivered by FedEx. Enjoy the Talladega race weekend, everybody.